What's happening, everybody? Jay Shock Blast here, and here it is. A list a lot of you guys have been asking for, waiting for very patiently, or not so patiently, and I am finally here to do it. I think part of the reason why it took a little bit longer to do it is because there's, as you're going to see as I start putting like different images rotating through the video, there's a lot of thought and a lot of extra effort that went into it. But I know Froby Bryant 15 on Twitter has been all about this video, and I'm glad to finally have it for him. So this is my top 10 characters. I'm calling it the I Wish You Were Here. My top 10 characters that I wish were in Lego Marvel's The Avengers. Now, I have one rule for this video. Well, actually, all right, let me take that back. I have two rules for this video. Rule number one, I am picking characters that obviously are related in some way, shape, or form to the Avengers. Actually, all right, three rules. So, number one rule, they have to be associated with the Avengers somehow. Number two is kind of a loose rule, but I basically was trying not to do characters like Wolverine and Storm and Beast, characters that, have worked with the Avengers before in a number of capacities, but are more associated with the X-Men. Are like not just associated with, are actual main characters of the X-Men. So, Deadpool is a character that I would say is loosely associated with the X-Men. But Wolverine, Storm, Beast, those characters are X-Men. Like they're like practically original X-Men. I think most of them, some of them are. Anyway, Beast is anyway. So yeah, those are characters that I think of as X-Men, and it has nothing to do with rights, but it has more to do with, these are Avengers. We're trying to get characters that are really mostly associated with the Avengers, if you catch my drift. And rule number three, which is actually rule number one, but I wanted to say it last. This is going to be a shocker to a lot of you, and some of you have already hit me up on Twitter and on some of the other videos saying, oh, I bet the list is Deadpool number 1 and Spider-Man number 2 through 9. Somebody said that. Who is it? Let me go back. Somebody said that on the top 10 video. The Awkward Gamer. He said, I bet the list is Deadpool 1 and Spider-Man 2 through 9. And that's exactly why both characters are off the list. Because he's absolutely right. If I included Deadpool and the Spider-Verse, I could have absolutely filled this list up with nothing but Spider-Gwen and Spider-Man and Deadpool and blah, blah, blah. And I am leaving both characters 100% completely off the list. Deadpool and Spider-Man are not characters that I'm including on the list because they're obvious. We know I want them in the game. So I'm going to spread some shine on a few other characters that I wish were in the game a little bit more. So I'm going to try to pick characters that are on screen that I think are somewhat related to, the characters that I'm trying to talk about. Because, it's tough. I'm going to have some pictures scrolling through, but it's tough to really fully, get into depth about them. So I'm doing the best I can to associate characters. After the video is up and you guys are watching it, you may say, oh, you should have picked, those characters to use to play with, whatever. I mean, you get the point. I want to talk about a couple characters that I really thought should have been in the game, but I left off the list for a variety of reasons. So number one, I left Quake off the list, Daisy Johnson, because she's obviously going to be in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. DLC. I left Enchantress off the list because I'm expecting her to be in the Masters of Evil DLC. And I also left Medusa off the list because I think there's a good chance she could possibly be loosely associated with the Captain Marvel DLC. Now, it is possible some of these other Avengers that I kind of wanted to get in here, like maybe Ex Nilo, Manifold, Smasher, Starbrand, especially Starbrand. It's possible some of those characters may get tied in with Captain Marvel. I don't know. But those are some other characters that were kind of, honorable mentions. But first of all, we've got Cloud9 here, a member of the Initiative. My number 10 character is probably going to be a little bit of a surprise, and definitely a character that I thought would translate really well into the animations of this game, and that is a fellow Initiative member of Cloud9, Slapstick. So Slapstick is currently hanging out with Deadpool's kind of mercenaries, and he's kind of like a clown-looking character, and I'm not even really like necessarily a big fan of the character. He was kind of I don't know, he was kind of funny, but he's just a weird-looking guy, and I thought he could look pretty good. He would look pretty cool in the game, and he's gotten a little bit of some shine, rocking around with Deadpool, and if you remember, Slapstick was kind of a little bit of a joke. Nobody really took him too seriously, and then he ended up taking out his instructor, Gauntlet. So yeah, man, He's pretty interesting. So I really thought that, I think if they used him, they used some of the animation styles that they used on Unikitty from the Lego movie. It would look pretty cool with Slapstick, and I don't know. I just thought that he would be a really cool looking and unique character. So number 10 on my list is Slapstick. So, I can pretty much use Nova in every single video. But for number 9, I want to talk about one of his former New Warrior teammates, and a character who essentially is the start of Civil War. And that's Speedball / Penance. So I would have settled for either one of them, but my preference obviously would have been Penance, because Penance looks dope. He's really cool. Basically, Speedball went after Nitro, and basically the two of them caused the explosion in Stamford, Connecticut, home of the WWE, and the start of the human or the Superhuman Registration Act. So Speedball doesn't die somehow miraculously, and ends up going through a lot of remorse and survivor guilt and stuff like that, and becomes Penance, and basically wears this suit that is constantly putting him in pain, and just a really awesome look for the character. So I thought it would have played really well as far as the way the characters looked in the game. So Speedball and or Penance, and also Speedball is currently back with the Avengers. He's rocking around with Nova as well, the new Nova, Sam Alexander. So yeah, man, Penance or Speedball, same person, number 9. So at number 10, or I'm sorry, wrong way. At number 8, we have the brother of Thanos. We have Starfox. Now, Starfox, I don't really know. He's like an old school Avenger, so it kind of makes sense, if you're going to be celebrating the history of the Avengers, to have somebody like Starfox in here. Obviously, as the brother of Thanos, makes a lot of sense. I think there's a lot of people that, will understand. This is a very classic Avengers character. And it would have been just really, really cool to see just a nice little tribute to the old school Avengers, He's kind of a different looking character. I feel like, you've got Grandmaster in here to kind of be the yin to the yang of the Collector. So why not Starfox to do the same for Thanos? And I would say there's a possibility maybe he gets slides into the Captain Marvel DLC. See, I just really don't know what they have in mind with Captain Marvel. Gladiator is another character that really could have been on this list that I kind of left off because I feel like that's a character that could end up in Captain Marvel DLC as well. But yeah, man, that is my number 8, Starfox. So they meet again. They always meet. At number 7, this is kind of cheating because it is a team, and it is the Wrecking Crew. Now, I don't really think these guys are going to be included with the Masters of Evil, but what I can say is right now we've got Absorbing Man and we've got, we'll say, the Wizard, okay, as characters that were in the last game. And if you needed to dip into some other Avenger enemies, you have 4 characters with the Wrecking Crew that would have just been so easy to jump into. You could have had Wrecker, you could have had Thunderball, you could have had Bulldozer, or you could have had Pile Driver. Any of them would have been great, especially even if you just had Wrecker, okay? Like, he's the leader of the group, and, he could use the same kind of, mace kind of thing, but I think he mostly has a crowbar, though. I think there's a crowbar with a ball and mace on it, but I really thought the Wrecking Crew would have made a really great thing, and for some reason I always think of Absorbing Man as being a member of the Wrecking Crew, probably because he could be if he really wanted to, I guess. But yeah, the Wrecking Crew, I really feel like that would be a great choice. I think if you ever played Marvel Ultimate Alliance, you kind of have this memory of the Wrecking Crew, being a part of it when you're kind of going up, I think, the Asgardian level. So, it just would have been nice to have some of them as new characters instead of, a rehash of Absorbing Man, who I'm really never going to use, and, a rehash of Wizard, which, whatever, just not really super stoked about those characters. So yeah, that's my number 7, the Wrecking Crew. Now at number 6, I'm going to go ahead and pick an Iron Man costume to represent Iron Lad. Now, I'm not really actually picking Iron Lad. He is a new Avenger, and I guess he could have theoretically been in the game as well. He's one of the very few new Avengers that is not in the game, nor is his more famous alter ego from the future. That is right, Kang the Conqueror. This is by far and away one of the classic all-time, Marvel bad guy or Avengers bad guys. And just recently, he was featured in one of their stories. He brought in, I should say, the Apocalypse Twins, and he kind of made his way about a really huge story. So, it would have been interesting to see Kang the Conqueror in here, especially, Kang over somebody like Leader, where they've already done Leader. So Kang is like just another, really great classic, bad guy. So Kang would have been a great choice, and maybe another time. We'll see. So yeah, I guess we'll get rid of him here. So the next character that we have is all right, we got Thor here. And we are going to go ahead and just pick Thor Girl real quick. So Thor Girl, not that I'm, saying she's related, but I'm picking Thor Girl and Thor because one of the big deals that they made in the last couple of years is the acquisition from, I believe Spawn is owned by Image Comics. The acquisition of Angela into the Marvel Universe. Angela has been with the Guardians of the Galaxy. She's been with the Avengers, and she is the bastard daughter of Odin and the sister of Thor. And they featured her in a lot of places, and she's such an awesome, powerful Asgardian female character. And now here's the issue, as you can see in the pictures. She doesn't really leave much to the imagination. So I can see why she maybe got left out of the game. But like when the game was really in the height of development, Angela was running around with the Avengers. Like that big all new, all different Avengers thing they did. Like it's crazy to me just how many of the all new, all different Avengers, I'm Googling it right now, like just how many of those were left out. You know, I mean, yeah, they got you know, the new Captain America, they got the new Miss Marvel, they got Jane Foster. You know, they've got those ones. And then there was actually another one, another version of it. You know, they also missed out on like Spider-Gwen. They missed out on Red Wolf. They missed out on Spider-Woman. Phil Coulson. There was the all-new Avengers as well. I don't think I meant all-new, all-different. I think I meant the all-new Avengers, which was... All right, here we go. You know, some of the all-new Avengers were, you know, Medusa, who I mentioned, and Cyborg and Sunspot, and a different costume for Doctor Strange. But we have Superior Iron Man from that group. We have a version of Scarlet Witch from that group. You have Winter Soldier. But no Angela, no Sunspot, no Cyborg, no Medusa. And those were, you know, characters that were around right when this, you know, over a year ago, when these characters, you know, when this book would have been like kind of in the height of things. So that's not even to say, you know, Miles Morales, which I don't even think I've said yet. So yeah, man, Angela would have been great, but alas, you know. Now, who am I going to associate here? Yeah, Namor is a character that would have been great, but you know, I'm only thinking of him. I'm gonna just go with, well, this isn't really the Cap I wanted, but whatever. Let's go with Captain America because I don't have Hyperion for some reason, even though I should have the DLC downloaded. Hyperion's gonna be in the game as part of the Adventurer Pack. Otherwise, he'd be on this list. But his co-pilot in Squadron Supreme, Nighthawk, is a very kind of classic, you know, Avengers bad guy, and sometimes good guy. Squadron Supreme is kind of all over the place in what they do. And I don't know if you guys are following it, and spoilers, skip ahead a minute. Squadron Supreme, in the most recent issue, they killed Namor. Hyperion, and Hyperion just basically ripped his head off. And yeah, so Nighthawk's just a really classic looking character. He's been around a long time. It just would have been really cool to see him in there. I kind of just like the way he looks, you know, like would have been a really cool looking character. But alas, he's not. And yeah, is what it is. Maybe something will happen. I don't know, but I don't think we're gonna see Nighthawk. At number 3, how am I gonna do this? We're gonna go with his former co-partner in the Thunderbolts. We have Agent Venom, Flash Thompson. So Flash Thompson has a bit of the symbiote. You know, he obviously, I think he's been a secret Avenger. He's obviously been out with the Guardians of the Galaxy. He's been with the Thunderbolts. You know, former U.S. military. So Agent Venom is such a cool looking character. He would have been so much different than the OG Venom. And it really would have been a really cool feature to have Agent Venom in the game. I know There's a lot of people. Agent Venom Craft on Twitter would have loved it. There's a lot of other people that really would have loved it. And, you know, Venom as a character is a really popular villain. So, I don't know. I kind of just really feel like Agent Venom would have been a great choice for the game. Number 2. I don't know how I'm going to do this. Number 2. We're just going to go with... I don't really know if this character associates with him, but he almost kind of looks along the lines of him. We're going to go with Ares. And number 2 is Black Knight. Now, Black Knight is an awesome-looking character, number 1. And he's been involved with the Avengers a lot over the years. So I really just kind of feel like... I know that they're really trying to push that character now. So I kind of just feel like it would have been a really great opportunity to get Black Knight in the game. Just a great character, you know, and... You know, I know that really all he does is swords and all that kind of stuff, but he looks cool. Every bit as cool looking as Ares, and just would have been a nice character to have that's a little bit different. So, yeah, Black Knight, my number 2 character. Number 1 should not be a shocker if you don't know me, or if you do know me, I should say. I think everybody pretty much knew as soon as... I mean, a lot of you guys knew as soon as I decided to leave off Deadpool and Spider-Man, who my number 1 character was going to end up being. And that character is one of my top 5 favorite comic book characters of all time. It is the character that I spent the longest time campaigning for on the Twitter machine, and that is freaking Darkhawk. So Darkhawk is Chris Powell. He's been part of the Avengers Academy. He was in Avengers Arena. He's been loosely associated with the Avengers in the past. He's worked with a ton of the Avengers. This guy is, as far as I'm concerned, he's one of the most underappreciated characters in Marvel Comics. You know, they tried giving him a little bit of shine during Annihilation, especially during War of Kings and Realm of Kings, where they kind of introduced the idea of the Raptor fraternity, which is other, you know, people, other characters out there that, you know, had the amulet just like his, that had suits of armors like his, and it really helped the character evolve quite a bit. Because, you know, he would have been an awesome opportunity to be a big fig, to be one of the characters that transformed into a big fig. You know, maybe have a you know, Hulkbuster type of armor deal. You know, because he has the ability to transform into a much bigger, you know, much bigger armor that has even more, you know, guns and stuff like that. So, you know, it just would have been really cool. Excuse me, it would have been really cool to see that. But, you know, he flies. He just looks awesome. You know, the thing is with Marvel Comics is they've done a 3 3/4 Marvel Universe figure of him. He was a fan vote favorite last year to have a 6-inch figure made in the Legends line. I mean, it's very clear that this character is a character a lot of people enjoy, especially a lot of people that are able to vote on things. I just wish that Marvel could give him, you know, that next chance that they keep giving, you know, characters like Moon Knight, you know. I really feel like Darkhawk would have a really great opportunity to become a very, very popular character if he had a little bit more shine. And what better way to get him some shine than right here in Lego Marvel's The Avengers. So obviously I want Deadpool and Spider-Man in the game still, and, you know, Gwenpool and Miles Morales and stuff like that, but I'm leaving them off just because, you know, characters like Slapstick and and Speedball / Penance, really deserve to be on this list as well, compared to characters that, I can't really change it. Everybody really wants to play as and are currently playing as. So that essentially is it. Those are my top 10 favorite characters that I wish were in LEGO Marvel's The Avengers. Again, I would really love to know what you guys think of my list. I would also love to know who your top 10 or 15 characters that are missing are, who you want to see in the game. And I really enjoyed doing the video, and it's going to be a little bit before it's up. Obviously, you're watching it now, so that really doesn't matter to you. But obviously, I had to edit in a ton of videos, so I'm still downloading some of them. And, well, obviously, you're watching this video, so I'm actually done, and it's uploaded, but you get the point. So I hope you guys did enjoy the video. Give me your top 10 list, and we will catch you later.